dining etiquette, and the magic of beautiful crystal glasses. There are so many shapes, styles, kinds, a different glass for every kind of beverage. So if you've ever been in a situation where you really were not sure which glass to use, this will solve all those challenges that you've been facing. You will become savvy in etiquette, and you will know exactly the right thing to say and do. I'm Gloria Starr, and I operate the modern-day finishing school in major cities all over the world, where we teach impression management, etiquette, manners, communication, and leadership. So, get ready. Today, we have a table set in lovely colors. On my side here is a champagne bucket. I do have a white napkin in the bucket. And when you are going to use a bucket with champagne, I recommend that you put the champagne in the bucket first and then fill the ice around it. Prior to knowing that, I had the ice in the bucket, put the champagne bottle in, and it exploded, not giving me 1 ounce of that lovely champagne. So it only takes one lesson to learn all these things, and it's better if you learn from an expert. So this would be a champagne bucket in silver. And then I have here some champagne glasses. Now, none of these glasses are particularly expensive, but the key is to select your glasses so they look expensive. So here's a nice, tall, lean one, and it has a tiny little edge. When you're drinking any beverage, don't tip it so that the base shows to someone else. That's considered rude, and particularly if you're having sake at a Chinese restaurant, you always cover the bottom of the glass. So here you would sip so that the glass wasn't tipped right up and showing. Now most people feel they have to clink glasses when they're toasting, and of course many times we do toast when we're drinking champagne. But this is what I recommend instead. Look at the other person that you're about to toast to, and you raise your glass to them, looking them in the eye, and smile, and you say cheers or santé, salute, whatever it is that is appropriate in your culture. And you don't need to clink glasses. Another thing with champagne to remember is that if the toast is to you, you do not drink your glass of champagne to that toast. So, particularly at a wedding, this is very important. And at a wedding, we'll see so many people encouraging the bride and groom to kiss that they'll take their cutlery and hit it against the glasses. And that is an absolute no-no as well. So this is one version of a champagne glass. And another version of a champagne glass. If the glass has a stem, you ideally want to hold the glass at the stem rather than up here. It just looks so much nicer. And if a glass is beautifully crafted, it would be able to be held here and balanced. And that's a good key as well. So it's lifting your glass and your eyes to everyone at the table in order to salute and honor them as well at the toast. Another dainty champagne glass, and keep in mind that the narrower the lip of the glass in distance makes it more difficult for men to drink out of. They often have much stronger facial features, so they would want to have a glass that's probably a little wider than this glass. Another tip would be for women. I recommend when you're out dining or having beverages that you take your lip liner and cover your entire lips totally with the lip liner, and then add some lipstick, something that doesn't have too much of a high content of wax in it, so that it's a fairly dry lipstick, and no lip gloss. And the reason for that is less lipstick will end up on your glass. And whatever it is you're drinking, even if it's tea or coffee or a juice, drink only in one place on the lip of your glass, so that's the only place the lipstick is. So this would be another option for a champagne glass. And this one, again, quite a different height, just a little bit taller, and even a smaller opening to the glass. So this would be much more suited to a woman's taste. And when you're drinking champagne, I also recommend very tiny cocktail-type napkins, ideally in linen if it's possible, although they're very difficult to find these days. But those are a few choices for champagne glasses. Now, while we're discussing champagne being one of the very special things, if you're having champagne at a dinner event, the glass of champagne will be in one of two places. At the furthest outside glass to your plate, if I'm looking at my plate here on the middle, my champagne glass would be furthest to the right if we're doing a toast prior to the meal. The champagne glass could also be at the very closest to your dinner plate, as in to the left of all the other glasses, if you're doing a toast at the end of the meal. Also on the table in front of me are other types of glasses, such as a small sherry or port glass. This is an etched glass and it's very dainty. If a man was drinking sherry or port, it would generally be a slightly larger glass. If you're having maybe a shot, as the lingo is in the bar industry, it might be in something like this. So that could even be a scotch. It could also be a layered drink such as a B52, where when you pour the layers they stay that way and the goal is to drink it all at once. Obviously not much of a lady's drink, is it? And this is another one that does beautifully when you're doing the layered items of the different types of liquor or liqueur. This makes for wonderful because it stays and it shows beautifully in each of those. And again, you would hold this by the stem. A key to quality glasses and crystal is going to be the thinness of the stem as well as the thinness of the lip of the glass. And our other glasses on the table for this etiquette lesson are going to be the beverages and glasses in front of us, meaning a brandy snifter. So we have our very large snifter, which is a glass that a man would like. This glass is usually held as I'm holding it now. So with this in position this way, the goal with a brandy or a cognac or Courvoisier would be to swirl it, allowing the bouquet to rise, and then when you're smelling it, you actually put your nose quite deeply into the glass to get the whole bouquet. And a really lovely quality, high-end quality, is when you swirl it and tip it like this. A full pour means that the liqueur, Courvoisier, would stay in the bowl of the glass. That's a full pour in a bar. And when you tip it and you've had your first sip, then the legs of the Courvoisier would run slowly down, showing you not only the color but also the quality of the liqueur. So it's a twirl and then a tip. And again, you don't have to clink glasses, but you're looking at the person. This is a great glass for men because of the size. And this is also a lovely glass for men because of the etched glassing in the way of a tall ship. So it's a man's glass, even though it's much smaller. This is not as expensive as the first Courvoisier brandy snifter glass because the rim is much thicker. And this is a very dainty woman's glass because of the thinness of the stem and the dainty size, and again it's used like this. So our main differences can be like this, either being used by both male or female, but this does seem more appropriate, and you'll often see this in the private clubs, the very large glasses like this. So glasses are very important in how you use them and how you toast, and also that you pour things in the correct glass that's ideally suited to the type of beverage that's being served. I'm Gloria Starr, the global expert of choice.